There we go.
All right.
Good afternoon, Grid Nation. I'm Cassie Martinez, and you're watching the Gridlock Pod. And I am here with Garrison Matthews of the Tampa Bay Brigade, not Garrett. It's Garrison. You have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure to say Garrison. I've learned that the hard way.
I get that all the time.
How are you
Garrett
today?
Harris. I'm good. I'm
I
good.
know.
It's a bright sunny day here in Tacoma, Washington.
And you just moved there.
I did, yes. So kind of a long story on how I got here, but I had been living in Tampa for 6 years, and I started traveling for work this year, and one of my contracts is up here. So I am 3 time zones away and 3,200 miles from Tampa at the moment.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from North Carolina, near Fayetteville, southeast, very rural country place. Um, I finished grad school in 2018 and moved to Tampa. I'm a physical therapist for work, and I started working in Tampa for the last 6.5 years. And that's, loosely how I became a part of the brigade. And then just kind of randomly decided last year that I wanted to try something different, and now I'm still a physical therapist, but you can do travel work, kind of like a travel nurse, 3 months at a time, kind of go anywhere you want in the country. And I decided to come here.
That's awesome. I would also decide to go there. There's like a lot of nature stuff that I haven't experienced because I'm all the way down south in Florida. So
Yeah, the
it's also
geography
neat.
here is like, I mean, it's nothing like the East Coast, which is kind of why I wanted to go. I'm going on a hike when we get done with this, so
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's awesome.
yeah.
Is that where you are at now, like in like the trail or something?
No, no, no. I'm at my house that I'm staying at, but like,
Oh, so your backyard
you,
just looks like that.
what's that? I'm sorry.
Your backyard just looks like that then.
Yeah, it just looks like that. Yeah, I'm renting a little like grandmother suite or whatever.
Okay.
There's a website where you can do like short-term rentals, so you don't have to pay for like a whole year. But yeah, I
Heck
lucked out.
yeah.
I'm in a nice spot.
That's awesome. That sounds
Yeah.
super cool. Tell me a little bit about, well, first, where did the name Garrison come from? Like, how did your
Oh,
parents? I've never heard of that name before. Do you know the
oh,
story?
yeah, I do. It's a great story. It's really simple. My dad's name is Gary, and I'm his son, so I'm Gary's son.
No, you're kidding.
I swear, it's as silly as it sounds.
That is awesome. I asked that question like not thinking there was gonna be a story. It was probably like, oh, like that's my dad's name or something. But like
It's close.
that's amazing. Your dad is a
Yeah,
genius.
yeah. Well, sometimes my friends like to give me a hard time. Like they'll call me Gary's son instead of Garrison. So you can use that on the live stream if you want to.
I was already plotting on it. Like
Yeah.
it was already like going in my mind, okay, I have to add this to the script. You know what I mean? That is
Ga-
legendary.
yep. Gary's son. That's right.
Your dad is a legend, obviously.
Yeah.
But how did you get into athletics? Like what's your like sports background, if you will?
I wrestled from the time I was 12, and I wrestled through college. Went to a small school in North Carolina called Campbell University. So wrestling was really the only sport I was any good at. I ran track a little bit, but I was not a track athlete, you know. So a lot of the gymnastics stuff that we do in grid and in CrossFit, I kind of had a feel for from wrestling. We actually have to learn quite a bit of like tumbling techniques, and we climb rope a lot. So that's where I get the transition into CrossFit and grid.
What was like your first CrossFit experience like?
Hmm. So I dabbled in CrossFit when I was in graduate school, but didn't really jump in. It's after I graduated and moved to Tampa that I kind of started doing it full time. So that would have been 2019. And I went to a gym called CrossFit Downtown Heights, which is now CrossFit Hyde Park, Downtown Heights
Yeah.
Balt Hyde Park. Um, and, Hyde Park is a pretty big gym in Tampa, very competitive gym. Daniel Brandon trains there. So, like,
Mhm.
it's a really cool place to be. And I've, made some of my best friends there. So my first like competitive experience, I just did a local comp. You know, I wasn't terribly good, and kept doing it just like anyone else, and ended up being good at some things. Maybe other things I'm still not very good at, but yeah, the Brigade had an open tryout in 2023, or the beginning of 2024 for the 2024 season.
Yeah.
And I just kind of got heard through the grapevine and went to the tryout, not thinking anything of it. And they asked me to be on the team. So,
Do you remember the first time that we met?
yeah, I do actually. I was walking around the Orlando Convention Center like a lost puppy. I was like, I have no idea where to go or what to do. It was my first match, and you like walked by me, and I think I had on like a Brigade shirt, and you're like, "Hey, are you looking for grid?" I'm like, "I think so." So yes, I do remember that interaction.
I remember that too. I didn't think that you played at the time, and you were, like, holding, like, so much stuff. I thought you were, like, the team doctor or something. I
No,
was like
yeah, I carry around a pretty big bag in general. Like I don't know why I have such a big duffel bag. I've had that bag for like 12 years. So it looks like I'm moving in anytime I go anywhere.
it
But yeah,
totally did.
yeah, I
I
don't
was
remember
like
what else I had in my hands, but I'm sure I had a bunch of stuff.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, this is the team doctor." Like, and then
I'll
I
I'll
was like
take I'll take
and then
that.
I yeah, 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 and then I was like, "So what do you do with the brigade?" And you're like, "Oh, I play." I was like, "Oh, cool." Like,
Yeah,
'cause that then I knew your name, and then when I saw you on the grid, I was like, "Oh, Garrison Matthews on the grid." I probably
yeah,
called you Garrett by accident the first time,
that's
but
all right.
yeah.
Not my best showing in my first match. We won that match, but I was new, and I was actually, this is probably conversation for later in this podcast, but I had a really bad back injury kind of right after the tryouts and didn't think I was going to do grid at all. Um, so we can dig into that if you want to, but at that time I was like very nervous. One, because I'd never done it before, and two, I was like pretty injured the whole season.
Dang, that sucks. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
So I was doing a class at Downtown Heights, and I was warming up my bar muscle ups, like first rep of the day. Not tired, not sweaty. My hands kind of slipped forwards at the top, and I went straight back onto my butt. And so I pretty badly herniated one of my discs, and I ended up having pretty pretty debilitating sciatica, which is pain kind of from your low back through your butt, your
Yeah.
hamstring, and all the way to my foot. So that persisted throughout the whole season, and I actually had surgery in December. I had back surgery in December
Oh,
of
wow.
of 22.
How
Yeah, so 3 weeks after the season ended, I was I was in the hospital.
did you time it to be after the season?
I didn't know I was going to have it. It was
Oh,
emergent.
okay.
It was an emergency surgery, sort of.
How'd you find out?
So I knew it was bad. I'd had 3 cortisone injections in my spine throughout the season. I think one in June, maybe August and October, and that's kind of what got me through the season. And then I was still hurting, but like trying to push through. And I had qualified for Wadapalooza and was training for that. And there was just one Saturday morning, uh, had a really bad pop in my back, and by that night, like I couldn't walk, like couldn't put any weight on my right leg, like I couldn't get out of bed, couldn't dress myself. And so I fortunately, like the field I work in, I have access to a lot of good doctors, and
Yeah.
saw someone that next week, and he was like, yeah, we need to get you in. So I was on the operating table by that next Sunday.
Damn.
Yeah.
And your job is, like, physical, so, like, what was the, like, recovery for that? Or, like, what was, like, the process kind of?
So I'm not, PTs make the worst patients, just like doctors and nurses make the worst patients.
Yeah.
I was back at work uh, like 10 days later. So I shouldn't have been, but it's fine. It worked out. Um, so I had what's called a microdiscectomy and a laminotomy and a facetectomy. And what that means is that they take out part of your disc, the disc that had herniated and is pressing on your nerve root, and causing the pain down your leg. So they took part of the disc out and then they shaved away a good bit of bone. So my L5 vertebra, there's a fair bit of it missing now. And they do that to create space so that your nerve root isn't being compressed, because that's where all the pain. Some people get really bad weakness in their leg or numbness. Mine was just like throbbing, aching pain.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I was back at work, and I had great coworkers there at the time, and they helped me modify whatever I needed to modify. You know, I wasn't doing a lot of like hands-on work with patients, but I could still instruct, and I was able to do what I needed to do. But yeah, I truthfully didn't think I was going to do grid this year because of the surgery, and you know, fortunately, I made my way back.
What made you come back?
Uh, I love it. I truthfully enjoy it. Like, you know, the training can be a little monotonous because once you get your assignments, you're doing them over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm hard headed and can be kind of a perfectionist sometimes, and may do it a few too many times than I need to, which may have led to me getting the surgery in the first place. But that's for another day. But I truthfully really enjoyed the competition aspect. You know, I had not really competed in anything other than CrossFit comps since I finished wrestling in college, and it was the first time I felt like a part of a team since I had been in college. And it's even more of a team sport than wrestling is. You know, wrestling's an individual sport. You
Yeah.
train as a team, and you go to tournaments and matches as a team, but you're on the mat by yourself. Whereas with grid, you're on the floor with 15 other people, and that was like such a cool experience for me. And then the brigade, like we're really tight. Like the team is very organic in the sense that a lot of us were very new last year. We had a lot of rookies, and then almost all of us came back this year. And so we've kind of grown together, and succeeded and failed together. So I really enjoyed the competition. I enjoyed being a part of the team. Jess, our team owner, coach, she's done like a really, really good job making sure that it was that way. Like she doesn't want there to be drama. She doesn't want, like, everyone generally likes each other, truthfully.
That's awesome. What was
Yeah.
the what was kind of like the first time that you ever heard about like the sport of grid?
You hear whispers of it here and there. Like if you do enough local comps in Tampa, like a lot of players live in and around the Tampa Bay area, you know, and more players are from Florida than any other state. So you hear about it, and like you'd be at a comp, you're like, oh yeah, that guy does grid, and like, what's that? And so I looked it up on YouTube here and there, and like I would play around with some of the movements, and like I did a burpee backflip like years ago because I saw someone doing it. I'm like, oh, I think I could do that. Not as fast as like Marissa does it, but yeah, just here and there over the years, but never really put a lot of research into it until I started.
That's sick. And
Yeah.
so it was at your gym that they had some kind of tryout and then you tried out. Were
They
you kind
had
of like trying out with the intention of like competing or trying out for just like I'll just like try this out and see what happens kind of
So
thing?
the tryout was at Cigar City, which is
Oh, okay.
where Marissa and Chris go, and that's
Mhm.
where we used to host our practices. I think prior to me joining, like most practices were held there, whereas I was at Downtown Heights, now Hyde Park, and we've actually transitioned our practices for the most part to Hyde Park, sometimes Sable Park, but Hyde Park's really big and has the space, and it's air conditioned, unlike Cigar City.
Ooh,
So
fancy.
yeah, uh, but no, I truthfully went in. They did a really good job with the tryout. Like they had like two different partner forwards out there, like two different ladders to try, like literally an element or two from every race. And I just tried everything, like whether I thought I was going to be good or not. And I didn't think that I was going to get picked because I didn't know like what the standard was. But yeah, they got in touch with me the next week and said, "Hey, you ready to do this?" And then I got hurt, and then I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to do this.
No.
But I'm really glad that I did.
Yeah, for sure. Let me circle back really quick because I'm curious now. Is there anything like that you can do now that a piece of your spine is missing? Because that sounds like scary to me. I don't know
Hmm.
about that.
So the best examples I can give you is like before I got hurt, I could bend over and put my palms flat on the floor. Like I could touch my forehead to my knee. Like I was very flexible. I was very bendy.
Yeah.
Despite like I'm kind of long and lanky, like I don't really look like a flexible person, but I was very, very flexible. And now I have a lot of nerve tension. Like there's a lot of scar tissue around my nerve root and my spinal cord. So like if I were to bend over and try to touch my toes with my knee straight, I could only get like midway to my shin. So
Ooh.
like it's taken me quite a while to do toe to bar again. That's a good example. Those still don't feel good, but I can do them.
Yeah.
Um, I don't feel super comfortable with repetitive barbell movements. Like I used to be pretty good on the barbell, and I've kind of transitioned away from that. I lift when I need to, but I don't lift as much as I want to.
Right.
Yeah, so
Man.
I truthfully don't feel like my spine is unstable. I feel like it's a little weaker. Like my back muscles are just not as strong as they used to be. But it's
Right.
really just it's the nerve tension in my leg that holds me back most of the time. So I've had to make quite a number of modifications, like the L sit to handstand thing,
Yeah.
which Hannah Bassett's way better at it than me, but I'll fill in when I need to. Like that L sit position is really difficult. Um,
Wow. Yeah, that sounds scary. That sounds like
it was scary for a time. I
yeah.
Yeah, the week before surgery, I was like, ugh, I don't know how this is going to turn out. But I'd like to think I'm getting better every couple months. Like there's like a new thing I'll discover I can do that I couldn't do before. But yeah, my back doesn't hurt much. It's just the tension in my leg that holds me back.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad that your back is better though. And it sounds scary to be missing a piece of your spine, but I mean, you seem to
Yeah.
kill it anyway. Like, yeah, I could do the L-sit to
I,
handstand. I can't even do that. My back is mostly fine. I have like SI joint imbalance, which isn't actually anything like, you
hey,
know.
the thing like me working in the profession, and I tell patients this: you can have the worst looking MRI that I've ever seen, and you may only have a little bit of pain here and there. Or you can have a very normal looking MRI or X ray and be in excruciating pain. It's not
Yeah.
mutually exclusive. So I'm very fortunate that I can do what I do. Um, but I always want to do a little bit more.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What's
You
what's the I guess like the movement that drew you to grid, like the element. Like you
mm,
were like trying out for grid and you're like, "Oh, like that's either like my
I,
shit or like something that I really want to see like in person."
so I love walking on my hands.
Mhm.
Um, so we have, Chris, who's an excellent handstand walker. So like
Yeah.
some of the med ball and the sled drag handstands, which are in championships, he does, those things because he's just so incredibly fast. But I've got pretty good handstand endurance. So I really like being upside down. I wish I was very attracted to some of the more complex ring stuff, even though I can't really do them. You know, like Chris is he's the man there, and Dalton, like
Yeah.
don't sleep on Dalton. Like
Never.
he can do all that stuff. It's just Chris is a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the ring stuff and the being upside down, I was like, man, that's so cool. Like I wanted to learn how to do a triple touch, which I can do them again if I need to, but we have people that are better. That's why it's a team sport.
Yeah, for sure. Were you when you got into CrossFit, were you kind of uh like looking for the competition or just like looking at it like as a modality? Or did you know that okay, like I'm done with wrestling and I kind of want to like be competing in something else and always kind of looking for that?
I definitely wasn't looking at. doing competitions when I started. Like I got pretty out of shape whenever I was in grad school. I mean, grad school's tough. You're studying all the time,
Yeah.
and I really didn't commit to my fitness at all. I didn't gain. I actually lost a lot of weight. I got really skinny when I was in grad school, and then I realized I was
Men
like,
are the worst.
"What's that?"
Said men are the worst.
I know. But I was like, I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way I look. Like I got to do something. And I like being in the gym, but I like variety and CrossFit and wrestling. Like the training is similar. A lot of variety, a lot of intervals. So that's what drew it to me. I had no intention of competing in anything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And
I mean,
I'll be 33 in a few months. So like I'm not a spring chicken anymore relative to fitness competition, if you will. But I'm glad I got a little left in me.
yeah, heck yeah. I didn't know that you were 33. I mean, 33 is not like old by any means, like in any like capacity, but I definitely thought that you were younger. You move
I'll
more like a spring chicken, if you will.
I'll take it as a compliment. I don't feel like one, but I'm good at faking it.
There you go. That's all that matters. You just gotta
Yeah.
fake it till you make it. What's what's I guess now that you've done grid, uh what's your like favorite part that's not maybe necessarily like having to do with like your team? You know what I mean? Like of course
Hmm.
you love hanging out with your team, you touched on that already and like doing all of those things, but like what's your favorite part? Whether it be an
Yeah.
element, whether it be like the travel or anything.
Um, that's a good question because like the team aspect is really what keeps me coming back.
Yeah.
I really before right now, like I'd been in Tampa the whole time, so like I never missed practices. Um, so this is kind of weird for me being remote, and I don't enjoy that. I really like being there, but
'Cause you guys do
I
practices like every weekend or something like
we
that,
do
right?
we had our last practice of the season this morning.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. That
yeah,
is so cool. I love that.
yeah. We there's never a weekend where at least 5 to 8 of us aren't training together, and that's been since I started, since the 2024 season.
That's
And like
awesome.
people don't miss. Like we're we are on top of it, and that's I think why we've gotten so much better. But the thing that I like most, I mean, the movements like the handstand walking. I love jumping. I'm a pretty good jumper, so
You are a
I just
good
like
jumper.
I like getting my feet off the ground. I like feeling athletic, and so much about grid. You have to just be like a good athlete, and whether I'm a good athlete or not, I don't know, but it makes me feel like I am one when I like learn these skills or like I figure out how to do something. I like figuring out like the bits and pieces. Like okay, when I'm going to do this really high box jump over, do I jump with both my feet up or do I just step with one foot? Am I going to rotate? Am I going to do it laterally? Am I, you know, or the partner forward that we just did in Texas, like, was I going to squat snatch the dumbbells? Was I going to, you know, push jerk the dumbbells before I squatted? Like just figuring out those little nuances of every movement and trying to figure out how can I make this a half second faster, like that like that chess game is so cool to me. There's nothing else like it because like CrossFit, with the exception of some events and some, you know, types of movements, you're pacing to a certain degree.
Yeah.
With this, it's like how can I make everything a half percent better? And I like that psychological aspect.
That's really cool. And on that note, what is the obviously when you're training for CrossFit, you can kind of just like for the most part do a class and then do like accessory work to enhance like what you feel like you need to kind of work on. What's the
Hmm.
process of training for a grid season? Like how does your like training maybe your schedule changes or like you implement something more specific?
Yeah, this well with the injury, I in 2024, I think I did like 10 total CrossFit classes
Oh
because
wow.
I just like I couldn't tolerate it, like any barbell cycling or like anything that I knew was going to make my leg and my back hurt. Like I just didn't do it. But for my grid movements, like I knew I had to do it because it was, a responsibility to the team. So I would push through it, but I didn't do anything outside of what was needed of me. This year I've been able to do some more volume and like actually work out and feel like I'm getting fit while I'm doing it. For me, I generally know what I'm going to be good at now. Last year, not so much. So I'll look at what what match was released, and I'll go down the line and be like, definitely not doing that, definitely not doing that, definitely not doing that. Maybe could do that. Absolutely want to do that, and then I'll test it and I'll video it and I'll send times in to Jess and Tomas, and then once we get a better idea of the assignments, I will do variations of my assignment, like EMOM style. So if it's something that's not too strenuous, I'll do like an EMOM or an every 30 seconds and do it 7 or 8 times. And then, if it's something a little more challenging that requires more execution or more weight, I'll do like every 2 minutes on the minute or every 90 seconds. So I've really instituted EMOM training to get good, efficient, and like build my capacity with grid movements.
Yeah. That's really cool. You're like a like just find out what you can do and like just be proactive and be like, "Oh, there's a chance I could do this." Just like kind of throw myself at a wall and, and do EMOMs, which
Yeah,
sounds
I
like scary.
it's it's not the most fun way to train. Like
Yeah,
it definitely gets monotonous. Like there's an element coming up in of the playoff match that I won't disclose which one it is, so I won't give away secrets and whatnot. But like
sure.
I did 10 sets of every 2 minute on the minute doing my assignment,
Right.
and like that got really old after about set five. But I was like, if I can do this under immense fatigue, then I should be able to do it on the grid when I'm somewhat fresh.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I've never deluded myself into thinking that I can do grid, but anytime that I've, you know, tried to like at least emulate a very scaled version of grid, you kind of just like go as hard as you can. And that's like literally what grid is, and just going as fast as possible and like making it hurt so bad.
Yes. Yes. I learned. I picked a lot of the more experienced team members' brains. Like I have talked a lot to Chris. I've learned a lot from him. I think he's got. I mean, obviously, he's one of the most skilled and talented players in the league.
For sure.
But I think he's got one of the best like minds for how to be good at this. And so I've picked his brain quite a bit on it. Marissa also very good and experienced. And then like Dalton and I have similar skill sets, like similar responsibilities. And so I can piggyback off what he's doing a lot of the time too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
And then
you were
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you. Tomas what?
Tomas, our head coach, he goes to Hyde Park as well. Like we're both members there,
Yeah.
and so I have the benefit. He can watch me. Like we would usually come to the gym around the same time in the afternoon, and he'd be finishing up class and be like, "Hey, Tomas, can you like watch me do this? Hey, like this is what I'm thinking for the rep scheme." And he and I do a lot of brainstorming on assignments and like just how the match is going to play out. And he gives me a lot of feedback. I was like, hey, you could probably speed this up here, or if it's positive feedback, hey, you did great on that. So having Tomas in the gym with me the majority of the time that I was training was huge. Like I really enjoyed having him there, uh, especially when I was learning.
Yeah. I mean, Tomas has such I've really enjoyed watching him like grow as a coach and taking on a bigger role. He has such a great like grid IQ and like eye for certain things. Like he has really good eyes also for like, oh, like that was a fault on the other side. Like I saw them like do a fault, like go ahead and run it back. Like he has really good like perception of everything that's going on, and I feel like it's hard to know. I've seen like a few grid practices of like other teams practicing and stuff, and it's like, oh, like you're not going fast enough, but I don't know if you don't know you're going fast enough because you're not in like the grid environment. But
Hmm.
Tomas feels like he's like that guy that's like, oh, like that's definitely not fast enough. Like you need to go faster. It does like it could be just like a blank room and he has like no like reference point, but he's like, yeah, it's not fast enough.
He can visualize it, and he's definitely on YouTube. Like he's watching other players, and I do the same thing. Like I learned a lot of what I do from watching other teams.
Yeah.
Like I like watching Cardona, like with a lot of his gymnastic stuff. He's very efficient at everything. I've learned
Yeah.
quite a bit from just watching videos of him. But yeah, Tomas, he gets it. And he's a very positive person. Like if you spend 30 minutes with Tomas, like you can't be in a bad mood. I promise. Another cool thing, fun. Here's one of my fun facts. He coaches at Hyde Park, but he does a lot of our skills classes. So like once a week or every other week, they'll go over like double unders or ring muscle ups or chest to bar. And I've seen him teach people, and I don't mean this in a negative way towards anyone. I've seen him teach people how to do ring muscle ups that I would have never guessed in 10 years that they would be able to do a ring muscle up. And he'll teach them
What?
in a day. He'll teach them in an hour, like how to do it. It's like really cool to watch.
That's really cool. I gotta go
Yeah.
to Hyde Park then, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, go do a Tomas Pacinda skills class at Hyde Park. There used to be on Wednesdays. I don't know about now, but yeah, you'll learn something.
Heck yeah. Did you know that I just started CrossFit for the first time like 3 weeks ago?
I didn't know that you were a weightlifter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I
I've
didn't
been
know that. I didn't know that.
yeah. I've been weightlifting for a while and then I decided after Dallas, like just like a fire lit under my ass, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do CrossFit. Like I'm so sick and tired of talking about all this cool stuff. And like I wanna do it. Like I wanna do like at least a muscle up. Like that's my goal is like I just wanna do one muscle up and I'll be so happy. And of course I'll probably continue because I'll find something else that I wanna do. But just like
Oh,
do a muscle
you'll get it. If
up.
you can pull a heavy barbell from the ground, you can pull yourself on top of a bar.
Yeah.
Like I firmly believe that.
Thank you. Thank you for putting that in my brain because I'll get there eventually. I haven't tried yet. I'm trying to get like the cardio up first because I'm very weightlifter and I'm very like okay, I do a lift. I don't want to sit and lay down and chill out for a second. So I'm still getting used to the speed of it, if you will. But
Yeah.
I'm having a good
I,
time. It's fun so far.
hit up my boy Tomas. He'll learn you
Yeah,
quick.
I have to. But what is the difference between because you were this is your second season. You were
Correct.
here last season and this season.
Hmm.
Like, what happened to your team that they just like dominated this season? Like, what do you think is like the big difference maker between like this season and last season? And that's not to say that you guys didn't have a good season last season because you went to the playoffs. You had a great showing, but this season just seems like really different for you guys.
That's a good question. Experience is the first thing that comes to mind. We had 9 rookies last year. Um, Me, Bella, Ari, sorry, her name is Ari, and she literally, this is a side blurb. She didn't correct us for a year. We've all been calling her Ari. It's Ari, Ariana Durham.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Did you know that she played Kids Grid?
I did know that. Yeah,
And Bella too.
yeah, they
That
were
was
too
awesome.
good.
Yeah, they were it
Yeah,
was crazy because you just see, like, a bunch of kids, and then these 2 girls just come and, like, rip it, and it's like, "They shouldn't be allowed to be there." I'm just like and the same season, they got, like, single match signed for the Brigade, and I was like, "Finally." Like, they're
if
crazy.
both of those girls continue with grid, or Aries a competitive weightlifter, Bella does
Mhm.
CrossFit, but if they continue with either CrossFit weightlifting or grid, they're going to be two of the best players that grid has ever seen. They're already two of the, in my opinion, I see them train, I see them compete. I think they're two of the best players in the league right now. Um, but if they continue, like they're not going to be touchable. But they're
For sure.
19. They're like
I know they're
Bella.
so young.
Bella might be 20. I don't know, but they're so young, and it's very impressive to watch them. But
For sure.
yeah, we had 9 rookies. Some people experienced, with grid, like Kyle Massey. He had played for the Aces,
Mhm.
and took a season off, I think. Seth Prochaska, who's not with us anymore, but we were just all new to each other, and now the core team is back, plus a few extras. Like we got Dan Ty, who he's unbelievable. Might be like the fittest dude in grid. Um, and we have Brandon Theres, who like he's one of the top 3 strongest dudes in grid, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So we kept the core people. We have more experience. We understand, like, there's less guesswork. Like, we know who's going to do what for the most part in each match now, without having to necessarily go through testing and looking at times and stuff. So that's a big part of it. And with that comes like more camaraderie. So we're tighter, like we support each other, we have each other's backs, whatever cliche you want to say. We have more of that now than we did last season because we've been together for almost 2 years.
That's awesome. I love that. And it does show. Like you guys look I mean, last season you guys looked like a team, but this season you look like, like you have like that brother sister vibe that you kind of
Yeah,
like, like you're like playing around with each other and you're like more familiar. It's just really cool to watch. I personally love watching that because it's hard. And I guess that comes with being able to like practice together and doing all of those things as well, just being around each other.
that definitely helped. We're lucky, like compared to some other teams that might be a little more spread out. We are less spread out, but we're more spread out this year than we were last year. We have Brittany, who's crazy strength specialist. Like, she's in Nevada, like she's not nearby.
Oh,
And we have,
interesting.
yeah, she travels 3 time zones as well, and she's got like 3 kids and like coaches softball. Like, she's a master of many trades.
That's
And then
awesome.
yeah, Rebecca's in Texas, Dan Haberman's in
Yeah.
North Carolina. So we're
Dan
Dan
ties in
is
England.
Dan's in, yeah, in a different continent. So that part's been a little bit tough, but they just fit right in, with the core group. It was very seamless.
That's awesome. I saw the comment that you put on Dan's video when he visited America, and he was
Yeah,
like, "Hail, yeah!" And he's like, "Oh, I got that from Garrison,"
yeah.
or
I
you said that or something.
Yeah. So when he came into town for the Tampa match at Valor, he hung out. Like, he and I hung out quite a bit. Me, him, and my girlfriend, and we like rode around, got dinner together. We all like went out that night, and he enjoys my Southern accent, which is not as strong now as it used to be, but he enjoys my Southern accent as much as I enjoy his English accent.
Yeah,
And so he started like not making fun of me, but like kind of imitating my accent, and it's just kind of been a running joke.
I love it. It was so good. He was like, "Hail, yeah!" It was like
Yeah,
so forced.
he's got a good one. I give it to him. He's a
Yeah,
good impersonation.
that's awesome. That's so much fun. And so for playoffs, I'm not gonna ask you a disrespectful question and who's gonna win between the Brigade and the Sharks because I know you're gonna say the Brigade. I'm not gonna disrespect you like that, Gary's son. But
There you go.
I had to hit it once. But the as far as maybe the what is it, the Eastern? You're the
We're
Eastern
the
Conference.
No, we're the
You're the West.
Western. We're the
Yeah.
Western.
As far as the Eastern though, between the Lions and the Brigade, who are we thinking?
The Lions and the Breakers.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sorry, the
God,
Breakers.
God, the Breakers are like, they're the most impressive turnaround. Like, I've not been around that long, but it's just
Yeah.
crazy to see how good they are. And like I don't want to say like one team is closer than another one because I don't really know the ins and outs.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a team second in camaraderie and like just getting along, I'd say the Breakers. Like,
Yeah.
they seem like a super tight, like they hang out together, it seems from social media, like they are in a good mood on the sidelines, it seems, and they're also very good. The Lions, it's hard to bet against them because I know who's on that team. Like a lot of experienced players, that a lot of the good aces players came over. So it's kind of hard to bet against that, if I'm being objective. I don't really know how that particular match format lines up for them. You know, if it were the championship match, I'd probably lean towards the Lions because like the med ball muscle ups and the handstand walking they've got, and the handstand push, like they've got a lot of heavy hitters for that particular race. Like they were really good at that partner four. I did quadrant 3 and 4 for that partner forward with the pistol thrusters last year, and I mean they smoked us. Like it was a really tight match with the Lions, but in that particular race they were really good. But this race format, I don't know. I don't know. You wouldn't surprise me if the Breakers took it.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a crazy one for sure.
Yeah.
I like that
The
answer they gave though. Like as far as like the camaraderie between the two teams, that like the Breakers is stronger. I haven't heard that one yet. That
yeah.
one's a new one.
That's that's face value.
Face value, of course.
I don't want to say that other teams aren't tight, but that's just what I see on the surface.
Right.
And they're a strong team. They can move a
Yeah.
barbell. Like it's really impressive how many strong people they have. So I'm going to give you a 60% confident answer and say the Breakers take the playoff match, and Breakers Brigade in the finals.
There we go. That's good energy.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever the Breakers and Brigade play against each other, I'm always like the Tampa Bay Brigade. Blah, 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 blah. That's all, folks.
Yeah. We got to give you and Taylor a tongue twister this time. Yeah, Breakers Brigade. That'll be good.
I know that one
Yeah.
always happens to me, but that's awesome. What are you most looking forward to in playoff weekend, playoff
I
championship weekend?
mean, obvious answer is winning. I'm excited to see everyone again. It'll be probably the last time we see some of each other before next year. Uh, I'm a little anxious about flying back because it's a 6-hour flight. I'm leaving Thursday night at like 10 p.m. out of Seattle, and I will land in Tampa at 6 a.m. local time. I flew back to North Carolina to see family 2 weekends ago, and my flight got canceled. So it flew
Oh
out
no.
instead of Thursday night, I ended up leaving Friday morning, which it wasn't a big deal. But if I leave Friday morning from Seattle, that puts me in Tampa at like 6 p.m. Friday night. That's not wouldn't be my favorite travel accommodation before
Yeah.
for the match, but um,
Was it weather?
I know the like how pilots are on like a clock, like they're not allowed to fly but so many hours in a day.
Yeah.
The pilots had like clocked out because of a delay somewhere else, and they didn't have anyone backup, so
Oh,
they just straight up canceled it.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to being back in Tampa. That's one thing, and I don't know, it's just so much fun. Like I really enjoy like being not the sidelines, but like behind the start line and like watching everyone else go and then getting to go myself. Basic answer, but yeah, just
Heck
chance to
yeah.
compete again.
It's a real answer. You gotta like
Yeah.
it. That's awesome. If you could live anywhere, would you live in Tampa? Like out of the places that you've lived?
No, part of the reason I decided to start traveling for work is not because I dislike Tampa, but I'd kind
Mm.
of like ran my course professionally. Like I was in a management role and like kind of had been doing the same thing for 4 years, and travel's a cool opportunity. So I knew if I didn't do it now before I got older and like settled down, I probably would never do it. So this traveling thing is kind of an opportunity for me to see where I do want to live. I'm kind of leaning towards going back to North Carolina. That's where my family is. We get 4 seasons there. You can go to the beach, you can go to the mountains. You know, not crazy weather. It's hot in the summer, but you know, not that bad. So
Yeah.
I'd have to say North Carolina is where I'll probably end up.
Yeah. I mean, you would fit right in. It would be like you
Yeah,
never left.
yeah. It feels it's been 7 years since I've really truthfully lived there. So I would go back to Tampa if that's how the cards fell. I love it there, but I'm leaning towards getting back in the country a little bit.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I'm excited to watch you in the playoffs. I've been like stressed this week, like just preparing for it. And this was like a really fun, like feel good interview because I haven't really gotten to speak to you except for like the few times that like I'm in the back and I'm like, hey, everybody, what's up? Bye, everybody. See you. Peace out. And then
Yeah.
like that
No.
one time that we spoke in Orlando.
Yeah. No. I when I saw you kind of like putting out feelers for like people wanting to hop on the podcast, I was like, I'm not I'm not a big social media guy. Like I don't have a strong social media presence. And I've never done a podcast, but I was like, you know what? Like, this is something I care about. Like, I enjoy it. And I've kind of got a little bit of a different story, particularly with my injury and my recent travel. So I was like, why don't I take a chance to share it? And
Heck
I,
yeah.
you know, and anytime I can, put the team out there in a good light, I want to do that too.
That's awesome. Is this your first podcast ever?
Yeah, I've never done anything like this.
Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I don't like love talking about myself all that much, but no, this is good. Yeah, it kind of like stimulated my brain a little bit to be like, okay, like why am I doing grid? I'm like, I have good reasons. I think I have good reasons.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. I love getting to know people on the grid and just like highlighting your stories. So now the next time that you're on the grid, I'll have like more things to say. I'll be like, "Oh, he's been dealing with a back injury. Look how fast he's going. He's like here from Seattle, like he's living in Washington, like he's a world traveler, you know?"
yeah.
So
Well,
that's
I
Gary's son.
hope Gary's son. Hopefully, I can live up to what is asked of me next weekend. I feel good about it. I feel good about our team, and you know, I'm not the kind of person that's gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna win. Like I'm, overconfident about this, that, and the other. I'm just like very realistic in that regard. But I really do think we are as good as any of the other four teams, and I think we can take it.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I definitely don't think that, I think that you're going to do amazing next weekend because every time you are on the grid, you just do better and better every time, and it's been fun watching you grow in the sport. But
I
um,
appreciate it.
of
I'd like
course,
to think so.
yeah, you
Hopefully,
definitely
hopefully, it ain't
do.
getting worse.
No, and I would have never guessed that you had a back injury unless you told me. So that's freaking awesome, dude. But
Yeah, a lot of ibuprofen and faking it.
there you go. Faking it is the best. But I really appreciate you hopping on. Is there anything else that you want to say? Any sponsors that you want to shout out before we hop off?
I do want to shout out our new Tampa Bay Brigade coffee. It's featured on our Instagram. I do
Saw
not
it.
drink coffee. Fun fact: I hate coffee. I've tried it in like 5 different countries. We have, if you can't tell from our recent player takeover, everyone loves coffee. Like Rebecca, Tomas, Jocelyn,
Yeah.
Chris, they're all like big coffee snobs. I hate it. Tastes like dirt and grass mixed up in a blender to me. So I drink Celsius. That's my thing. However, if you do like coffee, go to the Tampa Bay Brigade Instagram. There's a link for it, and you can get support the team for one, and two, if you like good coffee, it's there.
It's
Um,
called like Gasparilla something,
yeah,
right?
let me. Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's Gasparilla something.
But it was
Um,
fun. It was a cool little like poster for it. I was like, man, that's so cool.
yeah,
I'm thinking about ordering it.
yeah, you can thank Rebecca for that. Like she's the one who kind of like set it up. I'm not sure who the guy or girl is that owns the company, but Rebecca was the catalyst there. So yeah,
Yeah.
go get some coffee.
And of course, make sure you check out the Tampa Bay Brigade Instagram tomorrow.
That's right. I'll be on there. Well, I'm 3 hours behind y'all, so I ain't getting up at 5 in the morning to make make an early post. But I'll do some fun stuff tomorrow. Might take you on a hike, um, and you'll get to learn some fun facts about some of my teammates. I've got a whole list that I'm gonna put out there.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fun.
some of my teammates may not like them, but
Like this person smells.
I don't know. No one's smelly. Some
That's
people
good.
might some people might have like kind of a low key like anger problem that you'd be surprised about.
Mm.
It's a little bit of spice, a little bit of tea. Nothing bad.
All right.
I won't
I'm
throw
here for
anyone
the
under.
tea. I'm here for the
I'm
tea.
I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus.
Of course, of course. Well, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for coming on here. And I'm gonna put myself out there and say that I'm terrible with time management. And we've been trying to make this happen for like 2 or 3 weeks, but I appreciate your patience and that we were
That
finally able to have this conversation.
that's all right. I'm glad we did too. I don't mind. I everyone's busy with their own thing. It don't bother me.
True that, man. Well, appreciate you and good luck next weekend. And you're gonna crush it. And go grid. Let's peace side and out.
Go Grid, go Brigade.